Welcome back to the Concord TV studio. It's 6 o'clock. We are live. It's Concord On Air. My name's Josh, Concord TV station manager. And with me, I have the incredible Lucy Morris, a Concord TV producer, volunteer. You do many, many things. Just real quick, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself, too?
Well, I couldn't do it without your help and your training. Absolutely incredible. I have gone out and done some videos where I've gone out in public and spoken about health and performance. I am a level 4 archery coach. I own New England School of Archery. I do health and performance coaching and just like have fun and do crazy things like this with you.
You might be a good, fascinating individual for next year.
I think so too.
About that.
But then I couldn't be on the board.
Oh, yeah. Then you wouldn't be, well, we'll have to see about that. We'll talk to the committee next year. So the first video that we are talking about is something that I care quite a bit about, that I'm pretty involved in at Concord TV, and it is the film club, the CHS Film Society, which we as a staff are advisors of this film club, and that's been going on. I think the club started in about 2011.
Is that basically for the high school?
Yep.
Okay.
It's all high school students, and they create their own films. They've done their own film festival in the past, which is really cool. What we're probably going to do this year is focus more on submitting content to the New Hampshire High School Film Festival and not running their own festival. That way, if they get into this festival, they can go to the screening and not worry about setting up this event, which has been a pretty big production. But we've had some really good kids graduate through that, alums of this club that have gone on to, one of them went on to Syracuse University. One is a well-known local filmmaker here in the Concord area. And so it gives them this leaping point, this springboard into the filmmaking career. How
long has this club been going on?
I think it started in 2011.
Oh, really?
Which was before my time. But from what I know from before I was here, it was started by a kid named Pedro. He's not a kid anymore. He's a young man now. But he had a passion for filmmaking and created the Film Society, which some people get confused by the name. It's the film club. A lot of times I'm like, oh, Film Society, film club. But did you have anything like that when you were growing up, film clubs, or was that a thing?
We did not have any of that. Yeah. We did not have this incredible TV station in our high school.
Oh, we're incredible. You hear that? We're incredible.
I hear the director laughing.
Yeah, because we're pretty funny. But so nothing like this existed. And I was actually talking, we had Tom Sicca, the principal from Concord High School, in here earlier.
Oh, wonderful.
And we were talking about how the high school has more and more opportunities in the STEM fields, and certainly filmmaking fits, it's definitely an art, but it fits into definitely like the technology side of the STEM fields. So it's pretty incredible.
Don't you guys have your own, don't they come into their own TV station in the morning here?
They do. We actually played a video a couple hours ago about CHS Live, which is the morning announcement show.
Okay.
And we definitely have kids involved in the film club that also do CHS Live. Because there is so much crossover, film and TV. And although most kids that want to be filmmakers, honestly, they're not as interested in TV production. We find that there's two segments of kids. There's ones who, like the former director of CHS Live, A.J. Nolan, he was director in 2014, and he definitely took a path towards TV and communications of that side, where people who love film tend to kind of stick with filmmaking. Certainly there's exceptions. There's kids who do both, like I said, but there are options. You have options. And in our field, you can become a graphic designer. You can become a TV director. You can become an audio technician. So, I mean, there's so many different options that you have. And a lot of our Concord TV staff are very good at everything, but there are certain jobs and careers out there that are very specific.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And what's amazing now is just about everybody can be making film. Like right now, I'm on Facebook Live.
Yep, we have a camera right over, tucked in the back corner over there. And I think later on, I was hoping in Town Concord, when they came in the studio, that they would do the same thing. No pressure on Michelle in the 7 o'clock hour. But so technology, it's there. It's easy for us to connect. And so with that, we are going to take a look at this clip of the film club, the Film Society. And so if you have a kid who wants to be involved, or you know someone who might be into this, they can certainly contact us. Let's take a look at the video. Lights, camera, action. Concord TV works with Concord High School students in the Film Society to create their own films. Club members learn how to use production equipment and use those skills throughout the year. Multimedia skills are vital to the education process, fitting in well with STEM concentrations in the Concord School District. Film Society members have gone on to have careers in TV and film. For more information about this club, reach out to Josh via email at josh@yourconcordtv.org.
Hello and welcome back. I am Michael O'Mara. I am the IT and Programming Director at Concord TV, and they decided to let me out of the server room for an hour. It's very, very kind of them. I don't know what they're thinking, but I am so pleased to be here as part of Concord OnAir, but I am even more pleased to have a new member of the Concord community who is making a tremendous impact already. It's the one and only Suzy Peg, who is our new Economic Development Director. Suzy, thank you so much for being here today.
It's my pleasure. And you've only just been let out of the room?
Good
Lord.
I know.
This is going to be electric.
They've kept me over there. We have to keep the YouTube stream running. You know, it's that STEM stuff they were talking about there. If I don't keep that up.
I totally
agree.
agree.
And it's important to help the economic development. I imagine STEM and STEAM. We can't remember the arts.
Yes.
I imagine all that kind of plays into. I guess the first question is, why Concord? How did you end up here? I mean, I know it's fabulous. I love Concord, but how did you?
It is fabulous. It's absolutely fabulous. It's going places. I was working in Pittsburgh for 15 years, and I had a great opportunity to come up here to be their Economic Development Director. And this is my 6th month working in that position. And I am having a ball. It is fantastic. This city is steaming. I'm telling you, it's steaming.
It is.
We have fantastic leadership in City Hall. We have a great set of councillors taking those agendas forward, and a great mayor as well. And I'm so proud to be part of that team. And I'm telling you, this place, I can't wait to go for a roll with it.
That is great to hear. What's the biggest difference coming from, I mean, obviously Pittsburgh is
driving
big.
vehicles. It's big, but you still have the same situations and stuff. We know we're trying to attract business here. We're trying to look after the businesses we already have here.
Right.
It's the same thing, but it's on a smaller scale. But what I love about this place is I know so many people here to get things done. In Pittsburgh, it kind of became a big animal. It was very difficult to move that agenda forward. Here, there are people behind me. There are people with me. We're holding hands together, and we're making a job, and we're making it worthwhile. And we're making this place a great place to live and work as we do.
Excellent to hear. Now, what would you say is one of your favorite, or what do you see as the biggest, most up-and-coming thing in Concord right now? What's making
it's the sense of community. It's the green space. It's everything. It's a sense of place. More and more people want a sense of place. You know, the Main Street project, I think, kicked off a lot of things. I'm seeing other things coming online, projects coming online. That momentum is the next place that people want to be working in and living in. That urban development living is what we have here. And we've been a sleeping giant, but we're no longer, we're up and we're growling and we're coming after businesses. I have some great followers globally. I worked internationally in Pittsburgh, so I have a global following, and I hope to God they're online right now. I've sent emails around the globe.
I hope there are people from everywhere.
They better be.
Just follow us.
Follow
us in Concord. We're wonderful.
But that's what it's about. I mean, I think Pittsburgh, I said I was going to take it global out of the gate, and that's what I'm doing.
That is excellent. I think that there's a lot of things that would be event. New Hampshire seems to make more of a splash than one would think for such a small state, and Concord seems to be, well, it really very much is right in the center.
We're right in the center, but we've always been kind of quiet. You know, it's like, come on, where's Concord? Well, now we're going, rah, Concord, we're here. You know, I'm getting medium out there. You know, this is a great medium to get out there, TV, video out there, telling our story, because if you keep telling our story, often enough, I'm doing an initiative called Create My Own Concord. I'm asking people to tell me what created their Concord, what made it happen for them. And I'm sharing that across all kinds of social media platforms because I want to share that story and get other people here to create their Concord.
That is going to be awesome. And it is amazing just the effect of the Main Street project, I think, where I've been a resident of Concord now for about 9 years, and it had already gotten a little busier by the time I first moved here, but it quite honestly, Sundays, there wasn't much going on. It was pretty quiet. It was nice,
Yes.
but it was quiet. Now there are people out all the time. I mean, we still get a little sleepy at 10 at night, no doubt, during the week. But
Concord for you.
Yeah, it is.
Pittsburgh used to be like that too. I'll share that with you. But I was very proud this morning. I did the Making the Strides for Cancer this morning.
Oh, excellent.
You should have seen the crowd there. I looked back at one bit and there was a sea of pink for miles. That makes me proud to be from this city now, because this is home for me, and that is just a fantastic sight. And that's what makes Concord special.
It truly is something that makes this place special, is just the, like you were talking about, the community involvement. And that was something when I was a newcomer 9 years ago, when I first got here, how easy it was to get involved. And it wasn't like, there wasn't that traditional good old boys club that you can talk about it in some towns that you see, where there's some resistance to get involved. Here it was like, as soon as I dropped anchor and said, I'm going to live here, there were people asking me all the time, hey, can you get involved in this? Hey, can you get involved in this? Next thing you know, I'm here co-hosting a TV show with Suzy Peg. How did that happen?
I'm even tap dancing. I mean, I never thought I could tap dance in a million years.
You're tap dancing?
I'm learning to tap dance. Would you believe?
Are you part of Dancing with the Stars?
I certainly am. I'm dancing with Keith and I am. And I tell you, it's going to be hot to trot. That's all I can say. Oh, my God.
You have a certain nickname, I heard, and I imagine it's going to be everybody's going to know it by the time this day's going to start.
It's getting fairly worrying how many people actually know it. So, can I live up to it? That's the other reputation I've got.
Of course you can.
Oh, God bless you. But yes, it's going to be quite a, but we're going to be dancing to a great song. I'm not going to share that yet with anyone yet. But,
it's going to be a big surprise.
Yeah, I think Councillor Niam's worried that I'm going to make him look really good, so his kids are proud of him. You're going to be great. It's going to be an initiative.
I am looking forward to it. One thing that makes Concord great too, and you kind of referred to it a little bit, as the open spaces.
Yes.
It's weird having a part of the town where it looks like you're in a big city, like Eagle Square, but you walk a mile and a half up the road.
You've got park.
You've got park. You've got trails, and the trail system of Concord is something that's amazing. And I love hiking. I love outdoors, and I got the chance to actually go out and visit Sioux Falls, and not only just from the open space and communing with nature perspective, but businesses are involved in that.
Correct.
And there's actually a trail passport program in which businesses are engaged in that. So we've actually done a little video where we introduce people to one of the trails here in town, the Sioux Falls Trail. And we also talk a little bit about the trail passport program. So why don't we go ahead and check out that video.
Cool.
Falls Trail meanders along the Pennacook section of the Merrimack River, passing by historic structures, through beautiful forest, and along river bluffs. Concord TV joined a group of intrepid hikers in exploring the area, led by the Concord Trails Commission in one of their monthly meetups.
Okay, I'm Fran Philippi. I'm on the Concord Trails Committee, as is Hillary Thompson. And we decided, several months ago to do one hike a month to introduce the public to some of our 85 miles of trails in Concord. And some of them are common areas like this, and others are trails that people mostly don't know about. So this was a Native American site. They have artifacts that go back to, I've read, 6,000, 8,000 years ago. So they were, Pennacook Indians that were part of the Abenaki tribes, and this was a major fishing site. Of course, the dam wasn't there at the time. And they were here until about 350 years ago. And in 1726, Judge Sam Sioux bought this land, so that's why it's called Sewell's Falls. So this is what the underside of the bridge looked like until last year. And now they've made this lovely little walkway and park here, which is a nice addition to this area.
Did you know there are over 80 amazing miles of trails and you don't need to leave Concord to use them? How awesome is that? Hiking, biking, snowshoeing right in your backyard. Plus, with the Capital Area Wellness Coalition's Concord Trails Passport, you'll get the benefits of good health and discounts at local retailers when you complete 20 of the 31 Concord Trails. And you can do all of this for free.
Not sure where to start? Some of the most popular trails are the Marjorie Swope Park Trail, where you can catch great views of Pennacook Lake, or the Wynant Park Trails, which offer views of the State House or Mount Monadnock, and the Oak Hill Trails, where you can see the White Mountains. If playing by the water is more your thing, stroll along the banks of the Merrimack River at the Sewell's Falls and Forest Society Trails. The city has recently completed several connector trails, so you can pack a picnic and hit 3 or 4 trails in one day.
Don't be intimidated. Most hikes are easy to moderate, family-friendly, and have many options to customize the length. And you don't need to go it alone. The city offers guided hikes, and there are several meetup groups you can find online. Just visit capwellness.org for a list of upcoming guided hikes or to request or download your hiking passport. You can also visit any of the retailers listed to pick up a passport. Hike for the health of it. We can't wait to see you on the trail.
Welcome back to Concord On Air. I'm Josh, once again, as your co-host here in the 6 o'clock hour. And actually, Melissa, I had a question for you. Who let Mike out of the server room? I'm shocked to see him over there. I thought we had him trapped in there for the first, couple hours there. But in any case, since he's already here, so glad to have him and Suzy over there entertaining us. And we'll make sure we get Mike locked back away so he can continue doing his IT duties. All right, so next we have a roll-in about Concord High School sports. And Lucy, I know you're a big advocate for keeping active and an active, healthy lifestyle. Tell me a little bit about some of your thoughts on that.
Well, basically sitting is killing us. Mm-hmm. And it's important to just get up and decide to get up 10 minutes earlier and go for, say, a 5 or 10 minute walk. And as you go for a walk, think about things that you're grateful for. Maybe the moon coming up, or because it's, sunrise is so late now.
So we're talking about living like positivity, not just physically healthy, but also your mental health as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The two combined. I mean, if you go for a walk and you're angry and stressed. And
sometimes I walk angry.
Well, I mean, look where you work. No, I'm just kidding. You guys are the most fun people to be with.
But you want to actually have positive thoughts while you're in these exercises.
Yeah, it's more than just positive thoughts. It's like really deciding, hey, man, I just so grateful for, I'm wearing shoes, and it's minus 10 outside or something, or it's 80 degrees outside, or if it's like 100, it's really hot to walk on.
You are such a positive person. I think what's incredible about that too is I know that local sports, we're going to see Concord High School sports in a second, and that's about the physical activity and it's about being healthy and active. But I think today's youth also need a lot of work or a lot of reinforcement of keeping your mind in tune with the moment. I think that's really important. So
that's really important for elite athletics, and it all starts, at the high schools or backyard archery. I own New England School of Archery and Supplies.
Archery instructor, yeah.
And archery is a very mental sport. And you can have two competitors that are the same skill-wise, and one will just dominate because they have their mind set. Yeah. If the arrow misses the target and goes into the grass, or they get a 1 or something, they let that go and think about the next arrow. But that's the same thing with like baseball, basketball. You don't beat yourself up like we've been trained to in school and you know, our environment. It's to train ourselves like, okay, so I got a really bad grade, whatever a bad grade is for somebody in school, maybe it's a C. Okay, what am I going to do better next time? Same with, you know, sports. And it is very, very important for your body to get up and move. And for us people who sit in office,
Guilty, yeah.
set a clock every 45 minutes, take a 3-minute break to walk around, read a book, or do something that gets your mind off of it.
Very cool. Well, so it's great that you mentioned elite athletes too, because I think some of these Concord High School athletes could end up going on to having very successful college athletic careers, becoming those elite athletes that you mentioned. So we hope you guys enjoy this little clip that we have about Concord TV's coverage of local high school sports. Take a look. Did you know Concord TV is the only place you can find entire Concord High School sports home games? Our volunteers have covered 40 plus games over the past year alone.
Number 5 comes in. There's a block by Ferguson, the freshman. Point Tide. Emma Ferguson.
Played up. Nice pass to Lariviere. Where's the puck? Ah!
There it is. Wimpy drives that down the line. Maria Wimpy. Point Tide.
Without these incredible volunteers, Charlie, Peter, Glenn, Tanya, Tristan, just to name a few, we would be unable to provide these games on our education channel to the community.
Oh, he carried. Pass high and deep. Touchdown.
Now Concord marches 80 yards down the field.
Outside is number 7, Vandersea with a great dig there. Rochette back to Wimpy. Wimpy drives that right down the middle. Maria Wimpy, Point Tide.
Kept in again. Pass across to Marceau. Shot.
Yes, it
Alex
is.
Marceau gets the point.
It is a rare game. He.
All games are available on demand at yourconcordtv.org.
Gets it over. Incredible play there by Maria Wimpy. Rochette to Harmon. Harmon pushes that over. Point Tide. Incredible.
And did you know that you can become part of the Concord TV sports team?
Crimson Tide are going to the state championship.
There it is.
As an announcer and camera operator for local sports, you're helping preserve memories, you're making new friends in the community, and you're building the Concord TV Sports Network into an even better collaborative local sports network. Email Josh at yourconcordtv.org to find out about your fun new hobby.
So what Josh doesn't know is I am an elite athlete, and his attempts to barricade me within the server room were foiled, as a matter of fact, so I could get out for this hour, which I appreciate. But enough about me and my exploits in the server room. I'm here with Suzy Peg, so sports, we've talked a little bit about outdoors, we've talked a little bit about sports. I know we used to have a team here in town, the Quarry Dogs, which is a semi-pro team. It'd be great if we had some semi-pro stuff here again, or even just got more engagement on the high school sports level and saw more of the community get involved. But it's not just outdoors and athletics that have people involved here. We've got a lot of other cultural resources within the city, and a primary amongst those, I shouldn't say primary, but definitely one of the higher level and more well-known ones, the Library of Concord.
Absolutely.
And they do some amazing things. I know you've talked a little bit to the head of the library.
I did.
And what is, they've got a number of things going on, and we'll be showing a little bit of a video about the How-To Festival, but in your talks with him, did he mention anything about how this kind of came about and what the hope is for something like this?
Yeah, well, if something like this is, I'm new to the team, so I was new to the library too, and credit where credit is due. I'd like to check in with Todd and just see what it was. So if I can read a little bit from what
go
he
right
says,
ahead.
I like to quote the man, you never know. So apparently the How-To Festival is simply a way to teach patrons a variety of skills in a brief 25-minute session through local resources. Suzy is a master gardener that might be teaching something about the gardening. A yo-yo expert, gosh, I wish I was there for that one. He works in the town. I hate to think who that is. But it doesn't have to be part of a business. It could be a staff member who makes something like kimchi. Another one could be repurposing bell jars. That sounds riveting, but you never know. But it's to educate the public about how-to items and to foster community development by utilising locals to run these sessions, which I think is fantastic. It's all free. That's a great word to hear. And patrons can attend 6 sessions or just 1. And they're going to be doing it again, we expect in 2016 in the spring. So I would encourage anyone to keep an eye out for that. They do have a part of our, on the website, they can keep an eye on what things are going off in the library or sign up for email alerts. But that's certainly something I think that we're all going to be interested in. And I think if you've got something to add to that, to be part of that agenda, I think you should talk to Todd at the library and suggest something, what you'd like to do.
Excellent. Yeah, I was lucky enough to go to this, and it's amazing what they can do with bell jars. And the
Really?
they like mixed whole recipes together and like threw it in a pot, and it was suddenly a soup, and it tasted good. It was amazing.
It's called a restaurant in my game. There you go.
But the person that does it, you know, is a chef at you know, a local, or they do their own kind of like food, you know, take home food.
Should teach
sort of
my
business.
husband something about, you know, how to cook.
How to buy the food from
yeah.
said person. But, it's amazing seeing some of the thing. I know In Town Concord was there to talk a little bit how to market your local business.
That's cool.
You were right. As a matter of fact, there's a yo-yo shop in town. If you can
Really?
There is a yo-yo shop in town, so you can learn.
So I've done tap dancing now, so now I need to learn to yo-yo.
You do.
Right.
There's so many things. Now, do you think you're going to attend next year, or are you going to teach something?
Oh, no, I think I'll attend.
Okay, you'll attend.
Well, I don't know what I can teach other than, you know, Downton Abbey British style.
Yeah.
You know, how to speak British.
I would go to that class.
Mom.
I would go to that class. That would be great, because we're all very bad at British accents here.
I know.
I'm sure several people
I'm not that
have
good
already
at
tried.
American either, so, you know.
How many have come up with Australian when they're trying
Australian?
to, nobody said Australian to you, thinking
They
that they were
do.
doing British.
They say Australian, and I once said something from a totally different country that was like German, and we all went German. So not Frau Peg. No, I'm not Frau Peg.
So here we go. So now we know what you're going to teach. You're going to teach how to speak an English accent, and we'll be good to go. So coming up, we'll take a look at this year's How-To Festival, which does not feature how to teach, how to talk like a proper English. So let's take a look at this year's How-To Festival. Hi there, I'm Mike O'Mara, and I'm the IT and Programming Director at Concord TV, and decided to take a little walk around Concord on this beautiful Saturday morning. We happened upon the How-To Festival at the City Library. Let's take a look and see what's going on.
This is our second year of the How to Do It Festival here at the Concord Public Library. My name is Todd Fabian. I'm the director here at the library. Basically, the How to Do It Festival, the idea behind it is to get local organizations, local groups who might have some educational item or task they can teach the public. So kind of bring the community together, different ideas. We had Concord City Trails come and let us know about City Trails. We had a 3D printer program we have here at the library that we're promoting.
We have quite a few folks from the community here who have been joining the various programs. Right now we have some pretty cool stuff going on. We have Keith from the co-op upstairs in our lantern room teaching how to make bell jar soups, and it smells delicious. We also have a how to make tiny terrariums happening. We have a bunch of people crowded around making little tiny terrariums that they get to bring home with them.
Festival?
Yeah, I'm sure there will be. When and how and where, I'm not sure. We're always looking for ideas and for any businesses out there that might want to promote what they do and teach the public, how to get involved.
Welcome back to the Concord TV studio for this year's Concord OnAir. And I would just like to remind Mike that he can run, but he can't hide. And so...
Why are we picking on Mike?
We will get... I don't know.
He's so easy to pick on. He's such a good guy.
He is a great guy, but we will find him. Doris L., we're actually live right now. We're on right now, yeah. So, yeah. We got Doris storming into the studio during... our live production. That's great. So our next role that we're going to be talking about is the STEAM conversion project that the school district did. And I'll tell you, Lucy, it was a really, really fun production. I worked with Matt Cashman. He's the director of facilities with the school district. And it was a really cool collaboration where they allowed us to take a tour. Have you noticed adjacent to the high school, they put a new attachment into the building near visitor parking along Westbourne Road. And that was so that they could put in new burners for this STEAM conversion that they do. It was actually kind of this like emergency where the school district went, oh my God, this Concord Steam company is going out of business, and they just found out about it very short notice. And so kudos to them. They came to a very quick solution, and Matt Cashman came to Concord TV and said, we'd like to get some good publicity for this project because we're putting a lot of resources into it. So we did a 3-part series that followed the process of building this structure. It was not just at Concord High School, it was at 3 other schools, I believe Runlet Middle School, Abbott Downing, and I apologize, I can't remember the 4th one. Yeah. But it's a really interesting process, and you can attest, Lucy, to when you get behind the camera and do production, it can be pretty fun. Why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the videos that you've made with Concord TV as a producer?
Oh, it's been a lot of fun, and you've been so much helping, like sitting down doing editing with me and helping me out.
Yeah, come on.
Couldn't have done it without you.
Thank you.
Well, my first time when I was speaking to the public, I was speaking to the Concord Kiwanis Club, and just before it, like 3 days before, I was like, oh, I should get the equipment. So I called you. You got everything set up, and there's a lot to just speaking to the public. I'm thinking about, this group, thinking about what I'm going to say, and then I needed to set up the equipment and then put the mic on.
Yep.
And there was someone there who actually put the tripod out, and I showed him, okay, so push this button, push that button, and he did.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. So it adds a little bit more stress. Like, for me, because there's just 1 more, 2 more, 3 things, because I got to, as you said, keep that off because you might lose your battery, so turn it on last minute. I'm like, okay, the wireless thing up on top of the camera, I will turn that on first, so I don't forget.
Yep.
And then I was like, okay, so I pulled that, wires, the battery pack thing out of my back pocket. I'm like, okay, now let me slide it back in. But it's really cool because then I've taken it and created my YouTube show with it, with an extra intro and outro. Like we create our own intro and ending, and then there's like an extra thing on either side. And it's been a lot of fun.
It's like you do your own TED Talks, kind of. In essence, if you've seen TED Talks before, it's a similar idea to that. And I think it's just great. I think you're a really awesome example of a community producer, because we don't produce it for you. We don't make the video for you. No. We help you, we show you how to do it. And it's been a lot of fun. It's rewarding in my job.
And you guys are so excited when I come in.
Yeah.
They're like,
oh, yeah.
Hey, Lucy. I'm like, I'm about to give the show. Oh, you're going to do fine. You're going to do awesome.
Well, especially you get greeted by Melissa when you walk in, and Melissa's right there, and she is just so much positivity, and I mean the whole staff is.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always pouting over here, just like.
Yeah, I've never seen you pout.
Besides that, Suzy's like, oh, I've seen him do that before. But we do try to be a very positive group, and so.
Well, if you're not, you fake it very well.
No, you can't. Honestly, you couldn't to fake that consistently. You wouldn't be able to. Yeah.
Well, it's because you have a great leader.
I'm getting the signal. We're gonna head off to
we're
the
being pulled off.
steam. We're getting the hook. So we're gonna take a look at that steam conversion video I was telling you all about.
Yeah.
So for community members, this is a great video to keep you up to date with what the school district is doing. So let's take a look.
Welcome back, Concord. This is Matt Cashman with the Concord School District. I wanted to give an update of the steam to natural gas conversion. We're happy to report that we're ahead of schedule and we are under budget. Those are two words in the construction language that are very good to hear. We're going to take you through primarily concentrating on the high school because that was the biggest part of this job, but I am happy to report that all 4 schools are fully operational. We are producing heat, even though a day like today we don't need it yet. We are up and running, and the project's gone extremely well. Today we just want to take you through a couple of highlights and show you some of the neat things that we've done for the school district. So what I'd like to do today is take you through the high school and show you the outside and the inside where the boiler room is, but also show you some added features that we're able to do because we came under budget. We were able to put in some upgrades to the site itself. Again, all being under budget, we were able to do these upgrades and contain them within the construction budget. So as we mentioned, the upgrades that we're able to do and contain them within the cost of the project, one of the biggest ones was this parking lot right here. If you look over my shoulder, we were actually able to add 10 additional brand new parking spaces for employees that never existed before. So we put that in this location right here, right alongside where the buses pull up on Westbourne Street. One of the other nice things that we did, the original budget called for paving replacement for only half of this area. But as we got into it and we looked at the condition and the age of the existing parking lot, we asked the construction company to go out and get us a bid so that we could review how much would it cost to do the whole thing. And because we were already bringing pavement in, we found that there were economies of scale and we could add doing the entire paving of this whole entire project all around the building, all incorporated within the budget. So with this paving upgrade, I also wanted to point out you have a retaining wall that never existed before. It adds some shape and some character to the site, which was nice. But we also were able, on this doing all the paving, to still maintain the fire lane as you see here, but enough distance for all of the cars that are parked and still have deliveries come to the school. Very safe and effective and efficient, I should say, for deliveries. We also upgraded, as part of this, all of the visitor parking spots, and we actually have an ADA entrance right here where we are able to incorporate a nice, smooth, easy ramp. So now we're inside the new boiler room. Inside this boiler room, we have 6 natural gas-fired boilers. They're all Cleaver Brooks boilers. The model is the Clearfire boiler. Each one of them is capable of 3.3 million BTUs. So if you take a look at these, you can see we have double redundancy. So at any given time, you'll see 3, maybe 4 of these running, depending on the temperature outside. These boilers feed all 540,000 square feet of the high school building. So technology has advanced quite a bit over the years on boilers. So one of the things I just want to show you very briefly is the computer screen that is on each one of the 6 boilers here. So at any given time, we can come down here, we can see what the interior loop temperature is, we can see what the set point is to actually turn these boilers on, and we can see what the outside temperature is. So from this panel, we can alter or change settings to have these boilers operate for a certain configuration. In addition to that, we can also do that off of our computer system through a system known as a Building Automation System, or BAS system. So that's how we control these boilers. In a minute, I'm going to take you over and show you the massive pumps that actually circulate all of the hot water that we're producing out of these 6 boilers that circulates hot water throughout the entire building. So we talked about the pumps. We have these 3 pumps right here. You can hear them running in the background. These are the 3 pumps that take all that heated hot water and circulate it through the entire high school building. you can see a control panel, much like what we had on the boilers that I just showed you, where it gives you the operating system in graphics, and you can kind of see which pumps are running, how many gallons per minute, under how much pressure. It's a very, very helpful tool, because if we get a heat call in the building that rooms are either too hot or not hot enough, we can start diagnosing the problem right here on the spot and see what components are either doing what they should or what need to be adjusted in order to supply the appropriate amount of heat. So as we conclude today, I hope you've enjoyed our tour of the Concord High School, and I hope you enjoyed all the details we showed you on this project, how it came out. If you would like to contact me, feel free to contact me either by phone, email, and I'd be happy to give you a tour and explain further details of what you saw today.
So our executive director did just storm into the studio and tried to bring me back to the server room. But nay. Yeah, you know that server room is actually next to the steam conversion heater area. It's very lonely there. It's very lonely. But Matt Cashman, he is great. We work with Matt a lot, and he does a great job working the facilities for the school district of Concord. Do want to give a quick shout out to a few of the businesses that help keep us fed during this very long day. It is extremely important. Otherwise, I would just be curled up in a ball sleeping here on the couch. It's not nearly as entertaining, but probably preferred by some people. But we do want to thank Checkmate Pizza, The Common Man, Constantly Pizza, D'Angelo's Pizza Hut, Domino's Pizza. I don't know if you've noticed a trend here with what we like to eat. Panera Bread, Papa John's Pizza, and Sam's Club. All of these businesses did contribute some in-kind food to us. It keeps us going. You haven't seen them yet. Hopefully you'll see them before the day is out, but we've got a lot of people working behind the camera here, volunteering hours in some cases. And it goes back to that community, sense of community that you talked about earlier here in Concord. One of the big things that we do, and I think you were on board here by the time this happened, but the Market Days Festival is one of those exciting things that brings a whole bunch of people downtown.
Yes.
Did you get a chance to walk around?
I did, and what was fantastic is seeing Main Street shut down and having that opportunity to walk up and down it without traffic and the rest of it. But again, this there was the people that performed that day were from Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah.
So I remember them from Pittsburgh, and I was talking to them later about Pittsburgh and the rest of it. But it was a fantastic day, a bit rainy. But, you know, it's like anything else. Rain, come, shine, doesn't matter. It's the same sense of community. So it was a great day, great couple of days,
And it's amazing that the number of different things that are going on downtown on any given weekend now. One event that has kind of increased in importance in the city here and has now become part of Market Days is the Multicultural Festival. And that's something that helps celebrate really the growing diversity here that we see in Concord. Which, you know, it's New Hampshire. We're pretty white for the most part. But there is a growing community of refugees and folks that are being welcomed in the community and have a lot to contribute to the community. And the Multicultural Festival has become a place where we get to celebrate all the different cultures that have become part of the Concord area. So we luckily got a chance to go to that festival a little earlier this year, and we're going to show a little bit of a film of that.
That's fantastic. Good.
So these are all phyllo wraps, wraps made with phyllo dough. This is the beef kebab, and we have another kind that is cheese with za'atar herb. And we make also different products that are desserts. There's the baklavas, and there's stuffed cookies with baked fruits. And it's all the product is handmade just here in Concord.
today I'm selling puri and aloo. This is a dish from Nepal. And yeah, pretty much it's been great.
While preparing this usually takes a lot of time, but in the end you get good results. And it takes preparing, cutting up, dicing, frying, and everything. It takes you some time.
What did you make today?
Sambusas from Savannah.
This is the plain rice with the butter chicken, and this is the chicken biryani, all Asian knows. And this is salad go with this one. We didn't put the salad dressing. We just squeeze the lemon so it can cut off the kind of oily taste.
The other way. With 4 steps, go into the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, and back. And one more time. Swing your partners off. Take your partner and promenade, march around to the right.
Well, it really stood out to me that there are so many different cultures around here, and I'm really happy to be part of it.
Join hands, circle to your left, circle to your right, circle to your right, and in we go.
And welcome back to the Concord TV studio for Concord On Air. I'm Josh with Lucy. And real quick, we just wanted to give a shout out to Justin's mom, Rosie, for commenting on Facebook. She says hello. And Rosie, thanks for letting us use that red vest in the Seinfeld parody. So we really appreciated that. And also Mayor Jim Boulay, who was on earlier, says Concord TV rocks. And we agree with you, Mayor Boulay. It does rock.
It totally rocks.
It totally rocks. And
Totally rocks.
it does. And earlier, there was a scheme by Doris and I to try to get Mike off set. It did not work. He's still here, but stay tuned to see. We may kick him off by the end of the hour. Who knows?
He's hiding by the other couch right now.
So real quick, we don't have a ton of time for this segment, but I teach classes at Concord TV. We're going to see a short clip about classes, but you also teach archery. Tell me a little bit about how rewarding it is to teach other people, to teach a new skill to somebody.
I think it's just so amazing, especially on their first shot when they pull the string back and they let go, and people just get so excited. And it's from 6, 7-year-olds. I actually have a 5-year-old in a class. I don't know how they got. I'm like, well, actually, they're absolute blasts. They're so excited.
Do you trust them with an arrow?
No, that's why I'm there.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's the adults that I have, I wonder about now.
Sometimes, yeah. But
I mean, when people do first shot, and there's just this excitement from when they let go of the string, they're just like, yeah. And then, basically, I'm creating a space for people to be relaxed, less stress, calmer, and they just feel better.
So that's really cool. So teaching is a really important part of our community. So we're going to take a look at a quick video that talks about Concord TV classes. There's also a little tidbit in there about Concord TV's on-demand and live stream section that we hope you enjoy. So take a look. Hey Concord, this is Josh, Concord TV's training coordinator. Did you know that we offer a wide variety of digital production classes, from video editing to camera, lighting, everything that you can imagine? We offer it here at Concord TV. So I invite you to go to our website, yourconcordtv.org, and go to our training section where we have a full web page dedicated to all the classes that we offer. If you want to register, it's really easy actually. You just give me a call or email josh@yourconcordtv.org and tell me that you're interested in taking a class. These are classes that are going to build your skills in media production, valuable skills that you can put on your resume or that can help benefit your nonprofit organization or small business.
Just do it! Make your dreams come true!
It's good to see Josh highlight some of his classes. Do you know, Josh used to have a class in which he taught how to keep your IT programming director locked in a server room, but he no longer teaches that class because obviously he hasn't done very well. But that's okay. He is fantastic at all the other. I actually had the opportunity to take a few of his classes, the video editing class, camera class. He does a fantastic job. He caters it always to the level of the students in the room. And it's amazing what you can learn even to just be able to do on your cell phone. And if you've got a nonprofit or small business or something like that, there's simple things you can do, simple films that you can make that will generate some interest in the products that you serve or sell or the services that you offer. And Josh is good at that.
You have to pay Rice from him. You're going like this, right?
Yes, you do. You do. So that is one of the few things that we do have that we do charge a fee. But one of the nice things about that is once you know how to use the equipment, Concord TV is for the people of Concord.
Cool.
So once you know how to use the equipment, you can use the equipment. The only stipulation is that you allow us to put it on one of your channels, one of our channels.
Yeah.
So that is a great thing. Now, one of the most important economic aspects to the city and what kind of makes it unique is the fact that we are the seat of state government in here. And is there much of a relationship yet between the city and the state?
Working on it.
Nice.
On it. I think it's important to have that relationship. I had a very strong relationship with Pennsylvania government back in Pittsburgh. I think it's important to work together. So I'm working on it here. Certainly have a good relationship with the former Dread people, so that's good stuff, working together on that. But yes, we are the seat of state government, and we need to leverage that where we can.
Excellent. And of course, the Capitol Dome kind of plays a very prominent place when you look at the downtown of Concord. And one of the great things is that it becomes a center of activity within the town. And it becomes a center of activity, such as with the Multicultural Festival, which we saw here. But it can also become a center of activity in times of need. And we've seen that even just recently. We had the opportunity to go down there real quick. We had heard, of course, about the horrible devastation down in Puerto Rico with Hurricane Maria, and the governor and the state government basically put together a massive food drive, working in conjunction with, I believe, the Army National Guard and the New Hampshire Food Bank, who both of those organizations know logistics inside and out. So we actually had the opportunity to get down there, take a look at what was going on, and hopefully spur a few people to come and donate. So why don't we take a look at what was going on down in the State House just a couple weeks ago.
Well, this is the donation drive for Puerto Rico, and the governor's office is collecting water and non-perishable foods for the donation drive. We've got about 50 state employees out here working throughout the day, and by the time we get done tomorrow, we'll have had about 150 different state employees out here working to collect the materials. And then we have the NH Food Bank out here, and they're sorting the materials and helping us sort the materials, and then we're getting them palleted. The National Guard is loading them and driving them to a warehouse, and then from there they'll be sent to Puerto Rico.
this is what we do. We collect food and then distribute it out. So our warehouse has the ability to store the food that is collected today until it gets distributed to Puerto Rico.
So our role here today is to help our New Hampshire citizens collect donations and also to help our fellow Americans in Puerto Rico get back on their feet after the hurricane.
It's incredibly important that people bring the right things. Now, the governor of Puerto Rico reached out to the governors of the United States, of the 50 states, and asked specifically for monetary donations, which you can do at readynh.gov. You can go there and find a list of experienced entities that work in response and relief efforts. Or if you want to bring food and water, you can bring it to the State House today up until 6 p.m. tonight, and between 7 and 6 p.m. tomorrow, October 4th.
All right, hello Concord. We are back for Concord On Air, and I would like to say to Mike that he is a very good friend, and I value our friendship deeply. That's it. That's all I have to say to you, Mike. That's it. That's it. I have nothing else.
It's been fun watching you two go back and forth.
We've been having a great time this hour. A lot of fun. And Lucy, this is just about the end of our time. The last thing that we have to talk about real quick is Concord Originals. Did you know we have so many talented musicians right here in Concord?
Well, I know that we have a really good music school, so I guess I would assume there would be, but I don't really know who they are. And
So this will be a good chance for you to learn about one of those Concord Originals. By the way, our Concord Originals, we have, I think, Melissa, correct me if I'm wrong, like 10 Concord Originals? Is it something like that? How many? So six Concord Originals? I thought it was more than that. Okay, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be talking to the director mid-show. That is
what's
horrible,
a Concord
horrible.
Original?
A Concord Original is a series we have throughout Concord On Air in which artists from a variety of mediums who help make our city a vibrant, creative community are featured. So Melissa spearheaded this project where she went and recorded video of these different artists, whether they be writers or musicians. And this next musician we're going to be talking about is a young pianist by the name of Emma Servadio. She was actually one of our most fascinating individuals years ago, and she's being refeatured as a Concord Original. She's, I believe, 13 or 14 years old. She's more talented at piano than I ever could be in my lifetime if I tried. Trust me, you will see in this video exactly what I mean. She's absolutely incredible. So hopefully, Lucy, you'll get to see a little bit with Emma Servadio, and you and the rest of the public will get to see Concord Originals on our YouTube channel as well. So I think we have to say goodbye. So anything left you want to say to the audience, everyone in Concord?
Basically, I want to say that Concord TV is an absolutely amazing place. Great energy, and I just love you guys.
Oh, thank you, Lucy. I appreciate that a lot. All right, so with that, let's head into our Concord Original, Emma Servadio.
What an amazing musician. It's this whole original series that Melissa's put together has been great, and it's great to see some of the artistic talent. Josh also has some artistic talent. He made a nice little friendship cake for me.
Oh, how
and it was really,
sweet.
really nice, except he used it to lure me back into the server room and lock me in during break, so I don't know if he really meant
I'm sure he does.
I'm sure he does, and I love Josh too. If there's one thing you've got to know about Concord TV, and it's so nice to hear people like Lucy and others in the community tell us this, is we really like each other. And if you haven't noticed from our Seinfeld things and from our Full House and just the other stuff, thank you.
Brilliant.
Thank you. But we really enjoy hanging out together and doing these videos, whether they're serious videos about things going on in the community or some more silly things that we sometimes
Good for you.
do.
Keep it going.
So anytime, Suzy, anytime the city needs you, we
Yeah,
are
Suzy
here.
in the city.
Oh,
Suzy in the city.
That's right. You are going to do that show, right?
Yeah, why not?
Oh, yeah. So we got a verbal commitment.
Yeah, it's got to go back to business, though. It's all about business.
It is always
All
about the business. Absolutely. Suzy, thank you so much for joining us on this Sunday. We know it was a beautiful day. We know there's a lot going on. We know you're doing a lot all the time, so it really means a lot that you came by.
Thank you. It's
So,
been a pleasure. I
thank
love
you.
this place.
Awesome. And thank you all so much for being here. We're going to watch, we might as well finish one last city department that we hadn't talked about yet this hour, but the
Parks and Rec.
Oh, they're the most fun.
Really important.
They're really, you're giving them a run for the money as far as being most fun. So, but one of the things that they have put together on a short notice this year was an eclipse. So we had an eclipse this year.
We did.
It was partial. We've got a better one coming up in a few more years. David Gill said that he's going to have an even better happening. I think we should hold David Gill to
hold his feet to the fire.
2022.
Yeah.
We'll make sure he's going to throw
let's
a
have
great
party.
There we go.
Yeah, party.
Party. So here is the eclipse video from 2017. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, we're here at White Park having a short, fun little eclipse party celebrating the eclipse in Concord. We're very fortunate. We had a local company, Domino's Pizza, came to us last week and said they had some extra over glasses for us. So we had a great idea of putting a little event together. And this has been a great time. About 100, 150 people show up, and we're just enjoying the White Park. And
so we know that you now have a pinhole box. I know a lot of people have been making them lately.
And it's pretty cool. You get to see the outline. Very different experience to look through the glasses, but this is a nice way to do it if you don't have them.
2024, New Hampshire's going to see 100% eclipse, so hopefully we can start planning and doing something really special.